You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'.
What is going down? What is going down? This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. Welcome to the podcast, guys. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you're into anime, nerd culture, and most importantly, video games, guess what? You come to the right place because we talk about all of that shit here. This is podcast episode number 424, and it's been really light, man. It's been really light. There's not a lot that has been going on. That's why I didn't have a podcast last week. Sorry about that, guys. I'm really trying to give you guys something week to week. And, there was not a lot going on. It was the holidays. I'm definitely going to talk about a little bit of Christmas, what happened and what went on there. I have a little bit of some anime news. I have a little bit of some bad news as well. And yeah, it's a mixed little show. We're not talking about a lot on this episode, but we are gearing up for 2026 and I'm hoping for a great one. A lot of things in the pipeline, channels and other things that I have on my plate that I would like to serve you guys. And, I would love for you guys to partake on this journey going into 2026. So let's talk about that. Let me start off by talking about anime. And I haven't been watching a whole lot. I have started watching Naruto again. Yes. I'm absolutely hyped for some Naruto news because we finally are going to get that 4-episode, special that we were supposed to get way back when. I don't forgot how long ago we were supposed to get that back, but they pushed it off. It disappeared. People forgot about it. And now they're back in the media again, talking about it again. So 2026, late 2026, though, we should be getting it. So supposedly it's already finished and done. I hope that it is. And they're just waiting. So I'm really excited for that, to go back to the world of Naruto. Boruto has supposedly stopped pretty much has been done since 2023, I want to say, as far as the anime is concerned. That has stopped. And it's been a big hiatus. I know the studio is also doing, I want to say, Black Clover. So that is like their priority right now. And, the fandom is kind of split with Boruto. It really is now. A lot of people say that the manga is a lot better. And a lot of people just say that they're not really that high on Boruto anyway, especially the anime. I started the anime years back. It was okay. There were some bright spots, definitely, but it was never going to be what Naruto or Shippuden was. Those are classics, man. I mean, for new listeners who don't know the story, my Naruto story, a friend of mine, one of my best friends, shout out to Dig. He's the one that got me to watch it. I was a huge Dragon Ball fan, still am, and always will be. But he turned me into a diehard Naruto fan because he sent me a fight between Kakashi, which is my favorite character out of the whole series now, and Obito. And I fell in love and wanted to know more. Before that, Naruto, to me, it didn't make sense because I was told it was about ninjas. But every time I kept looking at Naruto, I see this kid in a hot orange, sweatsuit with sandals on. And I'm like, how could this be a ninja? Completely threw my perception off. And I just didn't know what all the hype was about until I started watching it. And then once I started watching it, I understood like how awesome this is. And now it is cemented as one of my favorite animes of all time, right there with Dragon Ball, like neck and neck. You know what I'm saying? So that says a lot. It's definitely got so many layers, so many great characters. If you wanted to compare characters from Naruto to Dragon Ball, in my opinion, the difference to me would be depth. Naruto characters have a lot of depth to their characters, man. I mean, there's a guy painting a fence in Naruto who has a deeper backstory than some of the characters in Dragon Ball. I mean, I'm just keeping it real if I'm being honest. And that's what I appreciated about that anime. I could go on for hours and hours about Naruto and how I feel about it, but I'm going to stop there. But yeah, that's pretty much my anime watch list. That's pretty much all I've been watching for the most part. My Hero Academia is complete now. It's finally done. So I definitely want to eventually go back and finish that. I was waiting for it to complete. A friend of mine finished it and said it was good, but it wasn't great. In his opinion, it didn't end like he thought it might end, or in typical My Hero Academia fashion. If you look at like season 1 and season 2, how those ended, those were excellent endings and it was really climactic and all that. And he said it didn't quite end on that note. But he did say that Bakugo got a lot of praise. And so, that's always a good thing. But yeah, I'm eventually going to check that out. I really am a huge fan now. I've become a huge fan of My Hero Academia Vigilantes and really enjoyed that series a lot more than, I was enjoying the latter seasons of My Hero Academia. And, I just feel it's a great story. It's a lot of great characters, and the way they integrated those two within each other, I thought it was excellent. I thought world building was on point with that. So that's another story. That's also another conversation. But yeah, that's my anime watch list, guys. And now I want to kind of segue into something a little bit sad. Kind of blew my mind on this guy. It's a YouTuber who goes by the name of LAMARR Wilson. If you don't know who this guy is, when you get a chance, if you got a second, just Google LAMARR Wilson with 2 R's, LAMARR Wilson. And he was just a breath of fresh air, man. He was like a shining light. That's the only thing I can think of when describing this guy, man. He just was so joyful, and he just was full of fun and wonder. I mean, that's really what I got from him, And those are the people, who you need to watch, I guess, apparently, because he ended his life not too long ago. And it was a surprise to everyone. Everybody who knew him, everybody who was even close to him, never saw it coming. And when you deal with, those type of things, people unaliving themselves, usually you don't see it coming. It's a defense mechanism that they use to kind of keep people away if they're really sincere about maybe doing something like that. And what they will do is they'll make you think that there's no cause for concern. I mean, that's the best way if you're really about trying to do that, as opposed to wanting to do it or thinking about it and then wanting somebody to kind of help you or stop you. There's different things you would do. Of course, you're not going to try to alert people to what you may be thinking about doing. So he did an excellent job of snowing everybody. Nobody saw it coming. Nobody knew. And I think about Robin Williams all the time sometimes. If you knew him, he seemed like a really happy person. And like I said, what you see on the outside is not necessarily what is going on the inside. So it's kind of scary, man. And it makes you just think twice. And if you do watch his content and you happen to take a gander at it, guys, you'll understand what I'm saying, because nobody who is watching his content and stuff that he did would guess that would be his outcome. And he was a big gamer. That's why, I watched a lot of his content. He was also a tech reviewer. He was into tech. He reviewed a lot of tech. But in his spare time, and if you would look at his house and where he stayed and everything, he was a huge gamer. So he played a lot of different games, and he was really tight with Dashi Games. If you guys are familiar with that guy there, and they were really close. So he didn't see it coming. Yeah, man, it's just a sad realization when you hear stuff like that. But RIP, and I hope that all is well with his family. My condolences for sure. But let me move that to the side and get now that I got it out the way. And I guess now I kind of want to segue into what am I going to segue? Oh yeah, Naruto. Let's go back to Naruto for a second. And this was something that was cool. I thought was awesome. Is that there's something called Naruto. I think it's pronounced Konoha. Naruto Konoha Land. And this is basically, think of it like Disneyland or Disney World, right? Where they have the rides and they have the statues and, maybe some avatars and things of that nature. This is something that is coming to France in 2026. And, when I think of anime, I always think of, coming to the West, Western audiences. But I never sit back and think about these other countries, and that's how much of a phenomenon a lot of these anime are. Not just to us, because you're used to just what you see and how you were introduced to it, the English voice actors and so on and so forth. But these anime go so far all over the world, guys. So how we think of the voice actors here, they have actors in France who they think the world of, and people there apparently are huge fans because that's where it's going to be. I'm like, why don't we get something like this in the West? I would love to have a Naruto land or something like that, or something in the form of a Dragon Ball planet or something like that in somewhere in the United States where we could go. So now I'm going to have to go to France just to go to this place. I mean, it's cool. Going to France would be dope, but going to France and going to an amusement park that is kind of, emulated after the Hidden Leaf Village, that's going to be crazy. So think about the merch, think about all the shops and everything else that you'd be able to experience there, even the ramen and everything like that they may try to kind of inject in there. I mean, that's what this place is supposedly going to be. So now I have to put this on a bucket list of mine to go to France, to go to this place, to experience this thing, right? Japan was always on there on my bucket list. And now this is, I'm kind of, forgive me guys if I sound different or strange or whatever. I'm kind of doing something new. I'm actually in the man caves sitting on the floor. Well, not on the floor. I'm sitting on a Japanese futon that I have in here. And it's, pretty comfortable, man. I might start recording like this as opposed to just sitting in the gamer chair and doing it like that. Yeah, this Rode mic elbow thing is awesome. So yeah, man, I'm really liking it, but hopefully it sounds right and everything. But yeah, man, I just wanted to drop this Naruto news on you and what's been going on with that. But yeah, that's something. Now I want to talk a little bit about the Switch 2. And one of the things that caught my attention the other day, one of the things that I was waiting on as somebody who may buy a Switch one day, a Switch 2 one day, one of my biggest gripes about the Nintendo Switch period is, and that goes for the Switch 1 and the Switch 2, is the Joy-Cons. If you ask me one thing that I hate about the Switch or the Switch 2, I would tell you the Joy-Cons. Off top, no hesitation, I would say that. And the reason why I would say that is because, guys, unless you're a small child and you play with your siblings with the system undocked, those Joy-Cons mean nothing. They are absolutely worthless because those buttons for the directional pad is just atrocious to me. I'm sorry, it just is. And, I know it's a gimmick, it's part of their gimmick or whatever. But at the same time, you would think that Nintendo themselves would put something out but they have never done it. I don't think Nintendo has ever done one licensed personally by them, where they put out a Joy-Con for the people who play their systems portable with the directional pad where the buttons are at. I don't think they will. It's just something that they're just not going to do. Maybe if they did, it would be them admitting that they kind of messed up or had some sort of design flaw with the Joy-Cons. But I don't know, guys. They already have enough problems with the Joy-Cons as it is, as far as the drifting and all that is concerned. But I was waiting for the company or some company. I thought it was going to be Hori, because Hori is an awesome brand and they make excellent accessories. And those are the ones I own for the Switch 1. And you don't get the dual sense and all that, which I care not. I just really wanted that directional pad and comfortability when holding the Switch, right? Because holding the Switch 1 was very uncomfortable, guys. After about an hour, it was really uncomfortable. And I hear the same thing for the Switch 2. Right? Because it's so thin and there's really no way to comfortably grip that thing. So now you have third party companies that are coming out and they are releasing, their own versions. I'm still waiting on Hori to release theirs. Hopefully they still do. But as far as the Switch 2, the first ones at the table is a company that goes by the name of CRKD. And the name of the Joy-Cons, their version is called Nitro Deck 2. So apparently they did this for the Switch 1 as well. But like I said, I went to the Hori side and hopefully Hori goes and does the same thing. But right now, this Nitro Deck 2 looks good. It looks pretty nice. There's 2 different color versions of it and it's coming out soon. So be on the lookout for that. And, I saw this and I immediately put it, I saved it and I wanted to talk about it a little bit because these are the things that need to be available for the Switch 2 for me to even consider like thinking about picking one of those boys up. And that's not going to do it alone for me personally. I need games. I need titles first. That's going to be the number one thing. And right now, guys, they are not showing me anything that is going to make me say, oh, let me make that move. Because everything that they're making right now, let's just be honest, is a lot of third party games, which, if you own multiple systems like me, then you're not going to go for the inferior version of that. You're going to go for the best. Most people are going to go for the best unless you're absolutely going for portability. And that's another story. But I'm a homebody. I've always, kind of been that way. And yes, if I'm out and I'm going somewhere, I'm not going to take the Switch 2. I'm going to maybe take the Switch 1, or I'm going to take, I'll take a Retroid Pocket or something like that, or older console, even a 3DS or something, but it won't be the Switch 2, only because, like I said, the further you go with those systems, guys, you're not going to be able to play portable long. You're going to be tethered somewhere, and if you're riding and you don't have anything but the battery life, then good luck to you if you're trying to play something like, Star Wars Outlaws or some shit like that. Get you a good hour of gameplay in and burn through that battery life if you like. But that's not me. So, different preferences for different things, I guess. But like I said, I'm waiting for that title, that magic game or games to say, oh, only on a Nintendo Switch can you play this. And that's when I'll say, oh, okay, cool. And then on top of that, we got to see if we can get that on the disc, okay, on the cartridge, and not on those silly things that they're doing now with the fake game cartridges. So, yeah. So that's my stance on Nintendo, guys. I know I can go into a side tangent. I can get very long-winded when it comes to how Nintendo rolls in some of this, but it's just because I'm passionate about it and I just want to see them do well. I want to see them do better. I'm kind of hoping that they will, but I don't know, man. I mean, we're in a new age and I don't think that we'll ever return to grace as far as, what Nintendo used to be. But, hopefully we can get somewhere close. I mean, I'm hoping that can be a possibility, but we'll see. Only time will tell. But that's one good thing. At least I know when or if I do decide to buy one of these things, that there are third-party devices that I can go ahead and immediately, grab before I pick up that Switch 2 if I ever do. Moving on. Here's some bittersweet news. I'll call this bittersweet. Technically, there was a game back in 2007, and I'm a huge Armored Core fan now. I am a converted super Armored Core fan now because of Armored Core 6, and I don't know, it did something to me. It's one of those games that you play, you only get a few of them in your lifetime, and they kind of they change you a little bit inside, and this was one of those games. It tested you. It made you it made me personally, like I said, go deep inside and find that extra, whatever it was that I needed to finish the game, because it was definitely a challenging game. And I got it done, and I did it more than once. Okay. And I was thirsty for more. I was just, like, I don't feel that way about most From Software games, right? I enjoy them, but they're hard as fuck, and I never finish them alone. I'm always with somebody when I finish it. You know what I mean? This game here, you have to finish alone. Okay. There's nobody that's going to help you. There's nobody you can call in. You have to beat the game and finish it. And I love mechs, number one. And I was just one of those guys that was really pissed that I missed out on a lot of these games because they were in Japanese and on Japan only, region locked, and all of that type of stuff. So, I was kind of salty about that. And so when I do find awesome ones that we actually get a chance to get, I covet those games, right? And like Daemon X Machina, the first one, right? The second one, no. Will I play it? Will I ever buy it? I'll eventually buy it on sale when it's like $15, $20 or something like that, just to have it and go through. But it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't like Daemon X Machina, the first game, and the graphics, the play style. In my opinion, Daemon X Machina is the best. You know what I mean? It's not even close, but that's just my opinion. I bought it for the Switch, and I also bought it for my Steam Deck. So that should tell you something right there. I love mechs, and I love mech games, and Armored Core 6 just had everything you could ever want in a mech game for me personally. It had a great story. It had great lore. It had great customization. I just love that game. And anything Armored Core that I hear about now, hey, I'm trying to, I want to play it, right? You know what I mean? Show me the way. Okay. So when I got wind of this Armored Core Mobile 3 coming to modern platforms, I almost lost my shit. And I was like, yo. So I did a little digging, did some research. It came out in 2007, and it was for Japanese phones and Japan only. So I was like, well, damn. Okay. And that's why I love Japan, man. Like, only in Japan, like, hey, you're playing you're playing Gundam games, or you're playing Armored Core games on your phone. They have games like this, crazy, right? But anyway, they're bringing it to modern platforms, and it's coming to the Switch, and it's coming to PC via Steam. So here's the bad news. It's in Japan, or in Japanese only, and they don't plan on translating it. They don't plan on doing anything like that for it. Could that change? Sure, it could. And I'm wondering why it wouldn't. Why would you guys wait, 15 years plus before and then re-release a game and put it out on platforms and not make it global, right? Not translate it. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. When I heard it was coming out to Steam, I kind of got excited because there's a little, I guess, hidden treasure behind that closed door, because the Steam community will get a hold of this, and they will definitely make a translation for it, and they will have a patch, and you'll be able to download that patch. So that's what I'm looking forward to, because I definitely want to play this. I would like to experience this game. I found Armored Core 4, I think for the PS3, in my garage. I had this game for years and didn't realize that I had it. I think I was like, at that time, before I discovered Armored Core, really, I think I picked that up at a flea market or something like that. And I was planning to sell it because I was going through a phase where I was buying certain things and reselling it, going to these thrift shops and stuff like that. And this was in one of my boxes there. And I was like, wow, this is here. So I took that immediately out of there. I'm not reselling anymore. That was, just something I did back in the day, but glad that I have it now, and definitely want to go and play that eventually. Right now I'm playing, and what did I play for the PS3? I recently ordered or bought Anarchy Reigns. It's a old beat 'em up game for the PlayStation 3, and I recently got that. But I'm going on a side tangent. Anyway, this game, I want to play it. I would like to play it. I think it's coming out in 2026, and I would like to play it. So hopefully they have a translation for it, or maybe they just give us a English patch all the way around, and I can play this. So that's just some good news right there. Now, it would be better if we got Armored Core 6 DLC or Armored Core 7 or any kind of Armored Core project in the works. You know what I mean? And hopefully we can get some of that news in 2026. 2026 is going to be a huge year for games. There's a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to in 2026, and I cannot wait. I know everybody's looking forward to, of course, the year of the ticket, GTA. Everybody's looking forward to that, but I'm looking forward to a lot of other things as well. Crimson Desert is one. There's a lot of dope games that are coming that I definitely want to play. So I think it's going to be a huge year. Hopefully I get Fable. I doubt it, but it'd be dope to get Fable if it even comes out. That's one game from the Xbox brand that I still want to play. I would still like to play. And the list goes on and on. I just can't think of them right now off bat, but I should do a show like where, look, all the games coming out in 2026 that, you know what I mean? I should do something like that. Probably will. If I get another week where it's like, oh, there's nothing to really talk about. There's not really a lot going on news wise. Then I should do more of those type of episodes. Those are more, evergreen episodes where you could listen to those kind of like, anytime, for the most part, like your all-time favorite games up until this point now, and things like that, where you do kind of deep dives into some of your favorite games or anime or whatever. So I think I'm going to start doing some of those episodes because I can record those anytime. I don't have to wait for damn near the week to be over before I can put together some notes and put together some stuff for a show. I can say, man, I recorded this last year or whatever, and it's predicated off of my favorite anime right now, or whatever, or my favorite games in the 2000s or whatever, so many different ways I could take that. So that's kind of like how I'm looking at that. And I'll probably end up doing something like that. So yeah, and definitely kind of turning some of these into videos for the YouTube channel. Also, don't forget, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I am shameless plugging. Check your boy out and go subscribe to Random Gameplay Pimpin' on YouTube. Okay. Content almost every day, at least every other day. You got, it may be just a short video, me discussing something, but you're going to get some content every other day over there. So definitely check that out. Podcasts that are recorded and put out Monday will be available there on Wednesdays. So yeah, that's something else for you right there. And yeah, another shameless plug. But anyway, that's the Armored Core news right there. Yeah, it kind of hurts. It sucks, but that's it. And now I kind of want to talk about, before I end this show, is Christmas. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. This Christmas at this household was extremely simple. It was extremely bland. I think we made wings and we made nachos. That's what we had for dinner. We didn't do the typical Christmas dinner. I wanted to kind of shake it up and do something different, and that's what we did. My son, he kept it simple this year. All he wanted was a retro game system, which is the Xbox 360, and that's what we got. And what really surprised me even more is that he did not want it in his room. He wanted it in the living room downstairs. So, hey, I was like, cool, I'm not going to fight you. Make it a community system. That's what's up. So, I went to last year. Let me go back. Last year for Christmas, he got Prototype 1 and 2. Okay. From my oldest daughter's boyfriend. Okay. He's a retro gamer, huge gamer. And he bought him those for the Xbox 360. Now, my son has an Xbox Series X, and we thought that we could play those on there, but for whatever reason, you can't play those on the Xbox Series X. And some games you can't. A big, huge portion of those aren't backwards compatible, which still to this day just kind of, I do not understand that. I think that's some of the dumbest shit ever. It just doesn't make any sense to me, but it is what it is. I know licenses and all of that type of shit is involved, but still, it's some of the dumbest shit in my opinion. But so he's been holding on to these games, been wanting to play them. They are, you can actually play those online. I mean, you can buy them at the marketplace for like $5-10 and you can get an HD version or whatever. But, he wanted to keep it gangster and he wanted to play the actual ones on the Xbox. So I was like, I feel you. And there's some games on my list. I have a list of games that, you can only get on the Xbox 360 that I want. And I wrote them down and I have them written down somewhere on some paper, but one of the games that I had to have, I still have to have, that are probably going to be my next purchases for the Xbox 360 are going to be two Naruto games. They're both RPGs. Okay. The first one is Naruto Rise of a Ninja and the next one is The Broken Bond. So these two games I have to have. I've already kind of searched for them. They're not that bad. They're not that expensive. So they're not going to totally break the bank and they can be done. So those are going to be the next ones. And I also have some other ones. I have a Japanese racer on there as well that I want to get my hands on. And there's an RPG on there as well. There's a few games. I think the list is about a good dozen games on there that you can only get on the 360. The 360 was a dope system. Okay, so I got him the Xbox 360 Slim. So the latest rendition, which is the best in my opinion. Also, there's homebrew going on right now with the Xbox where people are being able to crack them open and, bust open that hard drive because I got him the 250 gig hard drive version. It was like 150 after tax, like 148 and some change. So we're happy with the purchase or whatever. And eventually I'm going to just be patient, maybe another 6 months to a year that, you could just download the crack and throw it in there on the Xbox 360 and you can just put whatever games you want on there. So yeah, I'm waiting. I'm going to be patient because that community is definitely heating up. And that's the beauty of retro games as well. There's so many aftermarket things that people are making and companies are making for the retro gamer. And I really appreciate that. I really fucking do. Retro games are some of the best things that people don't realize. A lot of the younger gamers don't realize there's some games out here that came out, years and years ago that still can't be touched, right? There's just so many there's so many different systems, so many different ones. Like that's why I love the Steam Deck because man, I have a lot of them there that I were able to get a hold of. And, the other ones that I don't have there, I have on my like Retroid Pocket. So between those two systems right there, man, it's crazy. And that's not even including all my other game systems like my 3DS, my DS, my, the original Switch one, it's just, I don't know. Games are beautiful. I love them all. I love them so much. Speaking of games, this is my last thing and then I'm going to get out of here. Man, I live in Dallas, right? I'm not going to, specify exactly where, but I live in a pretty prominent area where there's lots of shit to do. Okay. And we have the second biggest mall in America, literally like not even 15 minutes away from me. And the biggest mall is in Minnesota. I want to say it's Minnesota, but this is the second biggest mall in America. The mall is huge. The mall has it's excellent mall. Love the mall. And I don't go there often because I fall victim to it if I do go. I never go in there and come out empty handed. I always take a L. My wallet takes a L when I go in there, right? I got this awesome Kakashi bust from there. Because the last time I went, they didn't have these stands, but now they had these anime stands where they have a bunch of bootleg anime statues in there. And I'll always stand by this. I think some of the bootlegs are the best anime statues that I've seen, believe it or not, because they just make shit that nobody else will make. I mean, have you seen a Super Saiyan 4 Trunks, like in statue form? Like you can only get that bootleg. Because, most companies aren't making that, Bandai's not making that, you know what I mean? Banpresto, they're not making those, right? So But anyway, if you don't know what a bust is, it's basically just like a head sculpt mainly. It goes down from the shoulders up, and of Kakashi. But this is Kakashi in the Naruto timeline. So he's got his, his new kind of outfit on, and he doesn't have the Sharingan anymore. And so I was like, I don't have a Kakashi like that. So I said, I need this Kakashi for my collection. And if you guys don't know, Kakashi is probably my favorite. He's up there with an all-time anime character ever. Like he's definitely one of the top ones, right? I used to be able to say it was just, Vegeta was up there. But he's up there with Vegeta now. So like, and all of anime, there's so many dope anime characters. You got Tanjiro, you got so many awesome ones, but like Kakashi is probably beside Vegeta, probably my number one. Those two right there. If I had to, pick one, and if I had to pick one, then I don't even know. I can't just pick one. Yeah, he's my guy. But anyway, so if I see some dope Kakashi, whatever, I'm trying to get it. And I found it there. And, but what I was trying to get at was that the GameStop there is gone. It's gone. GameStop is over. It's finally over. Cause how do you close down a GameStop at a mall? And the second biggest mall in America. This mall is a huge mall. It's not going anywhere. Money is always going through there. And you are shutting down GameStop in there out of all these other stores? In 5 years, GameStop will probably not be here. Okay? Guarantee you it won't be in 10. So it is what it is. Hate to say it. It's going the way of the dodo. And I guess I'll leave you guys with that. Hope everybody has a great 2025, the end of 2025, and Happy New Year. I'll see you guys in 2026 for the first episode. And I don't know what I'll be talking about, but I'll make sure it's decent for you guys. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Before I do, one last time, guys, don't forget, subscribe to your boy's YouTube channel. Check me out at Random Gameplay Pimpin' on YouTube. All my OG listeners, I love you dearly. Of my new listeners, thank you for coming. Sorry, my voice I got a frog in my throat, so I'm going to worry about this after I hit the stop button. But I love you guys, and I will see you in the next episode. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.